I looked through the keyhole in my basement door. Something looked back. I never should have told my husband about the hole in the basement door. It was the size of a keyhole, except older somehow, ragged around the edges, like the wood had rotted away in a perfect, deliberate shape. The door itself was hidden behind a leaning shelf in the basement of the rental we'd moved into 3 weeks after the wedding. The landlord had called the room behind it sealed storage and laughed when I asked for the key. "You don't want what's in there," he said. I thought he was being weird on purpose. My husband Daniel thought it was funny. That was before I looked through it. I only meant to peek for a second. The basement light above me buzzed so loud it felt alive, and the concrete floor was cold through my socks. I bent down, put my eye to the little opening, and expected darkness. Instead, I saw gums. Not teeth, just a wet crescent of pale human gums pressed close against the other side of the hole, glistening like something smiling without having finished growing its mouth. I screamed so hard I slipped backward and cracked my elbow on the floor. Daniel came running down the steps, annoyed at first, then pale when he saw me shaking and pointing at the door. "What did you see?" I couldn't make myself say it. I just whispered, "Someone's in there." He crouched and looked through the hole. At first he frowned. Then his whole face changed. Not fear, recognition. He stood up too fast and grabbed my arm hard enough to hurt. "Don't ever look through that again," he said. That should have been the moment I packed a bag and left. But we were newly married, broke, and I had already gotten used to excusing the small cruelties in him. How he read my texts over my shoulder, how he corrected my memories in front of other people, how every apology came with a reason it was my fault. So I let him lead me upstairs. That night, I woke to the sound of the basement door opening. Not the sealed door, the regular basement door at the end of the kitchen. Daniel was getting out of bed. I kept my eyes half closed and listened to his footsteps cross the floor. A moment later, the kitchen light clicked on. Then the basement stairs groaned under his weight, one by one, until the house went quiet again. He was down there for a long time. When he came back, he smelled like mildew and blood. The next morning, I found dirt under his fingernails and a raw red half-moon bite mark on the inside of his wrist. "What happened?" I asked. He looked at the bite like he'd forgotten it was there. "Old nail in the basement." By the third night, I was sure he was feeding something. I know how insane that sounds, but tell me what else I was supposed to think. Every night around 3 a.m., he went downstairs carrying something wrapped in a dish towel. Meat once, I think. Another time it clinked like silverware. Another time it cried. Yes, cried. A thin, kitten-like sound that stopped the second the basement door shut behind him. I tried asking him outright. He just smiled in this exhausted, private way and said, "Marriage means trusting each other." After that, he started watching me more carefully. If I moved toward the basement, he'd appear in the doorway. If I asked about the sealed room, he'd kiss my forehead and change the subject. He took over laundry so I'd